Hi, today I will mention few topics that as a beginner you need to learn to work in .NET framework. This is a roadmap document. So first I have mentioned the basics of programming concepts. So here you see variable data types, constants, control structures, if else switch, loops, functions, methods, arrays, collections, and if the language is object oriented, then you need to know classes, objects, inheritance, interface, polymorphism, encapsulation, and abstraction. These are the components of a object oriented programming language. So these basic topics is necessary for any programming language you need to learn. Then I have mentioned C Sharp because .NET framework contains few other languages like F Sharp, Visual Basic, and C++ as well, but the C Sharp is the most popular .NET framework backend language. So mostly the softwares are developed using C Sharp as a backend language. So you have to know the syntax and features, data types, operators, conditions, how they are used, object oriented programming, what is object oriented programming, how the components in object oriented programming are used, exception handling and debugging, collections, list, dictionary, etc. I mean, you need to know the data structures that are available in C Sharp and how they are used in your code. Link queue, asynchronous programming. Asynchronous programming is a technique where you can run multiple tasks parallelly. So the modern software development mostly and vastly uses asynchronous programming technique. Link queue, language integrated query, it is a feature of .NET framework that you can actually query a list in your collection like this. So you have to familiarize yourself with .NET, .NET Core, and .NET 5. So these are the versions and various frameworks that are actually introduced in .NET world. So in the very beginning, we had .NET framework that are only able to run in Windows platform. So after initiating .NET Core, the .NET framework developed software applications have become cross platform. So .NET Core and .NET 5 applications, or .NET Core and .NET 5 and above applications, can be run in macOS, Linux, and also in Windows without any changes in your code. So there are subtle differences in .NET Core and .NET 5. Actually, .NET Core is a cross-platform framework. .NET 5, 6 plus 5 and also 6 plus and above, these are also cross-platform frameworks, but the .NET 5 actually took the features of .NET Core and .NET in one framework. Earlier, .NET Core was a totally separate framework. It was totally separated from earlier .NET, but .NET 5, since .NET 5, the framework contained all the nice features of .NET and .NET Core all together in one framework. So with .NET 5 and above, you can build an application that can solely run in Windows, or you can build an application that can run in multi or cross-platform environment as well. So you have to know what is .NET Core and how it is different from the .NET framework, installing .NET SDK. So setting up the development environment, for example IDE. So you can use Visual Studio 2022 community version if it is free, and also you can use Visual Studio Code as well, and you can just try out with a .NET Core console application like a Hello World application to build your first .NET application. So learn about the .NET ecosystem. You have .NET CLI, NuGet, IDE, version control. So what is NuGet? NuGet actually is very useful when you need to install a library using NuGet package manager console in your IDE. So you have to know and learn about those things as well. Web development with ASP.NET Core. You have to know how MVC architecture is used, understand routing, middleware, dependency injection, learn the web API in ASP.NET Core, which is REST API, how entity framework is used in database management, understand authentication and authorization, learn about Razor Pages, Blazor. These are the front-end languages that are built in .NET framework. So you can use also HTML as a front end, and you can also use Angular application, Angular front end language as well, which you can integrate with your .NET backend, C# or any .NET backend language. Learn about database and entity framework. You have to know entity framework core. Entity framework is a feature of .NET framework that can help you to work with the database. So you can work with SQL Server and build a crude create, read, update, delete operations application, and you can know the code first and database first. And there is also another approach which is called model first. So you can know what are the three approaches and can build your models or entity classes to work with the database. You can explore desktop and mobile application development. For desktop, you have Windows Forms, which is basically drag and drop. You can build UI with drag and drop feature, event based code, no WPF. For WPF, for the front end, you can use XAML, Universal Windows Platform, which is also you can know. For mobile apps, you have Xamarin. Now it is .NET MAUI. Testing and debugging, you have NUnit, XUnit, mock, and all. You have also debugging feature in Visual Studio itself. So you can use breakpoints and run the application and see the code flow. Finally, you can just build a test projects, a small project like a personal website or a very small desktop application to test the features and see how the features of .NET Framework works.